Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Snow's Seafood Steak Airline at 74 in Gonzales. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro with us. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Calucci from Vegas been running hot on the ice, and Matt Humans with us also from Las Vegas. A lot of college basketball to get to with Matt. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Doing great.
Okay. Well, how to put this? Mississippi State beats LSU last night, 80-66. There's some other interesting college basketball games last night, but I'm going to start with this one. I don't quite, know anything different to say other than what we've been saying for a while. You longer than me, but certainly for a while, which is that the program is what it is. You had an awful defensive performance last night, and unlike Saturday, you got an awful offensive performance to go along with it. They were completely. It's just sad. It's just sad that against a team like Mississippi State and South Carolina, that you are at home. You are never in these games. Mississippi State and South Carolina have combined. We reached the halfway point of the SEC season on Saturday. Have combined for 3 wins outside of the wins that they've got against LSU. Against South Carolina, you were down as many as 28, and you never led, and you lost by 10. Against Mississippi State, you never led, you were down by as many as 27, and you lost by 14. This is the absolute, other than Oklahoma, this is the absolute bottom of the league, and you're playing them at home, and you're not even competitive. You're not even competitive. If you never lead, if you are down 25 to 30 points, you're just – we can talk about the basketball if you want, but it was a lousy defensive performance. It was a lousy offensive performance. They didn't even make free throws last night, which they usually do. And you got virtually no reaction from the coach. I'm not sure Matt McMahon has raised his voice or raised his eyebrows one time in this whole thing. He just stands there with this blank look on his face. And a team that I'll be honest with you, in the second half, this resembled because Mississippi State is not very good and didn't play particularly well last night. They turned the ball over 16 times and still managed to win by 14 on the road. At times, this resembled a high-level intramural game where you just get a bunch of really talented athletes go play in the rec center, but it looks like at times that they haven't even practiced. So I'll let you go. I mean,
I don't want to get into the body language. Charlie say he looks with his blanket.
Well, it's just one other thing.
It doesn't matter. He's coaching. He's trying to coach. He's not. They're just not responding. The biggest thing is these offensively challenged teams, and you want to talk about well, they're playing hard. Remember, this is previous commentary. Well, they're playing hard for them. They get to play hard and this and that, whatever. I mean, I think a part of defense is effort. And how many times are you going to see an offensively challenged team come in and just start, well, they got 30 with 10 and a half minutes to go in the half. This kid from South Carolina is averaging 8. Well, he's got He's got 16 of South Carolina's first 20 points. You know, I mean, and that's the two. There's no doubt that the bottom of the barrel come into your building and light it up. The empty seats are growing. If you didn't think they could, and you had that little pop with Kentucky, as you always do, and to lose, and that is any hope to try and get any type of momentum for the season was blown. Missed 2 free throws and you give up, and part of that is extremely bad luck. I mean, that's not bad coaching. We talked about defending the inbound play against Kentucky. Mm-hmm. There's nothing I would have done differently.
Right. Well,
you guarded the inbounder. You had your 2 longest guys. One guarding the inbounder, one guarding the guy that shot Moreno. And, I mean, it just barely goes over his. He turns around, hits a jumper from 16. But this is so, you talk about lack of commitment, the big picture. We don't care. This is a very competitive player budget in the league. Very competitive. Right around top 5. In north of $9 million. North of $9 million.
This is a figure you're comfortable with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would have thought that they were closer to the middle of the pack.
They might be.
But, okay.
They might be, but it's
plenty enough to be better than 1-7 in the league.
Yeah. You know how it is. People trying to get it and things like that. But it's not just the 15%, the $3 million, or $3 million and change that the revenue share and what they were getting. There was some work in it. What he supported that gave his last a little just support on his hire on the way out, and it just hasn't worked because most people you had to basically double the offer for a guy like Thomas. I mean, when he's getting $2 million and change, that's not what he was worth. But because you have a losing program, because we saw the teams that were after him. We knew that you had to overspend for him. Yeah. So I get it, but man, you got some work to do. It's probably. I mean, you can look at the rest of the schedule and tell me. Like I said, you got no gimmies. You can't. Can you win at South Carolina? Yeah, you can, but you're not gonna. There's no gimme. You're not beating Arkansas, Tennessee. You're not beating Texas, Alabama.
They might
Auburn,
be favored.
Texas
They might
A&M.
be favored against Oklahoma at home, but that's the only game I can see where they're a favorite, and even that is no gimme.
They're favored by 7.5 last night. How
right,
did that work out? They weren't even competitive. They were favored about close to 10 against South Carolina.
Right.
They weren't competitive in that one. Oklahoma was better than those teams. Clearly. I know they're on a 7-game losing streak in the conference, but clearly Oklahoma's playing with Alabama and losing at the gun.
It's just a metric we'll use. Are they going to be favored against Oklahoma? Maybe not.
They're on the bubble according to the net. Yes, they're the farthest thing from the damn bubble. They're 47 NET.
Well, they dropped to 60 after last night.
I looked at it this morning, really?
Yeah, they dropped to 60. This is a quad 3 loss at home. This one stung. Well, it got them back closer to what they're
take into consideration if it's home.
But yeah, they dropped to 60. They dropped to 60.
Yeah. So,
and we thought that net was greatly overrated because of the offensive and defensive efficiency metrics obtained in a non-conference schedule that might barely have challenged Catholic High. So that was an inflated number to. I mean,
this thing is over.
Yes, it's been over. If anybody else needed any convincing after last night, and the only thing I posted about it was, it should concern LSU that they're getting blown out of their own building by teams like this, but it should be of greater concern that nobody seems to really care.
But don't tell me that we don't care, because we did care enough to get a competitive budget.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
I just meant the fans going in and fans commenting on it.
You got more
like
empty
that.
seats on courtside than you do people in them.
Yeah.
Courtside.
Yeah.
No, I mean you booing. They're booing. Going to the locker room.
Yeah.
At halftime.
There's of who's there. There were about, Max was at the game. He said about 3,000 people there. In a building that holds 4 times, in a building that holds 4 times that. No, there's just nothing there. And this is, somebody asked me this morning about the historical. Is this the worst 4-year stretch of anybody? It's close. It depends on how he finishes. Tom Crean went 15-57 in league play in 4 years. McMahon would have to lose all of the rest of them to match that number, but he's going to be in the conversation. Tony Barbie was 18-50, 27% in 4 years at Auburn. Rick Ray was
It's a conference.
This is a conference record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rick Ray won 24% of his conference games in 3 years at Mississippi State, and now you're at 24% of your wins in conference play in a 4-year period. So it's not quite the worst, but it is within the.
He's at 24%. He's not lower than that. A little bit lower.
15-47, 24.2%.
Okay.
So he's in the conversation.
He's got to hustle to catch Curley.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you want to take the football into it, hey, look,
worst coach ever come through LSU, right?
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Guy needs to hustle to catch Curley's conference record.
The guy had a good record at Murray State. It was more than just John Morant. This didn't work. Just didn't work. Okay?
Wasn't the first guy to win it at
a smaller school, and it
wasn't a terrible hire. Somebody else was going to hire him also.
Yeah.
So maybe not an LSU, but comparable. I mean, it wasn't the resume, the timing. No, and nobody around here said he was going to be a disaster. But for a young guy, you'd seen a little bit more embracing of the fundraising role of your position.
Yeah.
And we have seen little to none of that. I don't want to get into, like you said. I mean, it's just everybody has poor body language when you're losing like this. I don't want to get into that.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but there's nothing.
He's coaching. I mean, he's coaching the same way that it's just not. It's certainly not a roster that's inspired to dig in on the defensive end.
And
that's the biggest.
I don't have to have somebody that is flopping on the floor and jumping up and down and screaming and doing all that stuff. It was just an observation. It is. He could be the most enthusiastic guy, jumping up and down the rest of the season. It's not going to matter.
He is not any different than when they won that overtime game in the NCAA tournament against a guy who's the reigning national champion. When they beat San Francisco in overtime in the NCAA tournament and beat Todd Golden. His demeanor on the sideline has not changed.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's no different. So he's just, you have to be a fundraiser. You have to hustle. And it's just, there's the parallel between your football coach is no longer here and your basketball coach. Where do you see him? And so, I mean, Charlie, you sat in a restaurant. You said, damn it, this is not even Will Wade. This is Will Wade's replacement hustling a Baton Rouge donor.
Right.
I mean, that can't happen.
And we know what it looks like when you're really busted. And when I say nobody cares about basketball, I mean nobody cares about basketball now. If you put a good product out there, they will come. I've been in the building myself many times, as you have too, that when LSU basketball is rolling, it is a really exciting thing. It energizes the campus. It energizes the city. When you get on a run, and there haven't been very many in the last 30 years, but there have been a few, it really energizes the place. They will come if you do. They did it for women's basketball. Nobody was coming at the end of Nikki Fargas. They knew she wasn't trying. So you bring a coach in here that, I mean, look, Mulkey's an outlier. I get it. There's not a men's basketball equivalent that grew up 35 minutes from here. But if you bring an exciting product in here, they'll fill the building again. They will. But you got to do better than this.
I also saw a John Brady team with, we didn't know they were a potential Final Four team. And they had to go to Atlanta and beat two heavies. There were no 1 and 2 seeds in Texas and Duke, to do it. But they were really exciting. Tyrus Thomas was taking alley-oops up near the top of the glass and bringing them home. And I can remember when Auburn, and it wasn't completely full. I got to tell you, when Porter and them were like top 5 and LSU beat them. So it takes it. Understand we've seen the building, popping. Okay, I get it, and it's proven. You win football, your branding, it drives enrollment. We've seen it in basketball too. Doesn't really do it in the other sports. Okay, so that's the impact you can have. not just on your fan base, but you got to win big, and it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge because it has been so bad for most of the time for so long. They're a little reluctant to come and support.
Oh,
everybody's lined up to go see the baseball team and go see the gymnastics and go. The same building. When I said, Charlie, how many? If there are 365 Division I teams, how many basketball teams are third in attendance in their own building?
I can't think of any.
It just
right.
So you do have a little different dynamic there, but they gave him the money. He had a competitive payroll, and it is a big whiff.
And it's going to take some rebuilding of some trust with the fans because there is a belief out there that the school does not care about men's basketball. I mean, your numbers are in contradiction to that. They have put some money up. They are trying, I think, to build a new building. But everything that they've done in since John Brady left, basically, well, no, let me not say that. Since Trent Johnson's second year has been kind of put that over here and try not to bother us too much because Johnson was on cruise control the last 3 years. He didn't recruit. He won the 2009 SEC title with John Brady's roster, basically. Johnny came in and he recruited, okay? Martin and Mickey, Quarterman, those guys, besides Ben Simmons, okay?
Right.
Those guys were really good basketball players, okay? There was some talent there, but it didn't work out. And then the one guy you had that did win and did hustle, you ran off, made a mistake, broke the rule, you ran him off. And then this. So it's been a long time since you felt like there was the full weight of the university's administration back in men's basketball. Is that a fair assessment? I mean, I'm going back 15 years here.
Why today so much different big picture? Because you usually avoid that. You know that this was you were a little bit fooled with SMU's, and SMU's a tournament team. They beat them by double digits.
And what did I tell you that morning? I said they got one guy that can shoot 3-pointers, McKinnon. He shot 6 out of 7 in that game. They don't have anybody else that can do that, and I don't know how many times you can expect him to hit like that. So it's like, yeah, that was a really good win. Can you do that again? Not really, okay? And then you don't have a lot of depth, and now you're not playing any defense at all in a lot of these games. I said that they were playing hard on Saturday because they actually won on the boards. But, no, you were right. They don't close out worth a damn, and it's wide open shot after wide open shot.
Either against bad teams, to start the game, or when another team needs a bucket down the stretch. What did Arkansas finish from the floor? They hit like their last eight shots or something.
Yeah. The last 6 minutes they were smoking.
7 of 9 or 9, something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Why my big picture today? Because I didn't feel like talking about the game itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you did have a little bit more. Maybe a few more people noticed last night. It's like, wow, is it really that bad? Yeah, it's really that bad.
A lot of people didn't watch because I'm putting all my TVs and getting ready to kind of hunker down, and it's not on TV.
Oh, yeah, you got to go find it. Yeah, on Plus. That's the other thing.
It's the first time since they had the arrangement that an SEC game, an SEC basketball game was not on.
Yeah, they were.
A conference game was not on ESPN. And one of the ESPN family, you had to go to a Plus. You had to stream it.
Yep. You had to.
Kind of look like
had to look for it a little bit.
Looked like the CW Plus with the clarity of the picture.
And if you had to go look for it, and you're like, this game started 6 or 7. Oh wait, the game starts at 6. By 6:15, it was 27-9.
Yeah, yes.
So.
We're at Snow's Seafood and Steak again. Our lunch menu, a great lunch menu. It's served from 11 a.m. to 2:30. Tuesday through Friday. The chicken Florentine, the seafood au gratin, Cajun baked tilapia fish, chicken Monterey, the Cajun shrimp Alfredo, crab cake, shrimp scampi, hamburger steak, charbroiled shrimp. We got a great menu. That's before you even get to our weekly rotating specials at the chef and spa. Chef does with us, and he rotates, kind of keeps them fresh. Even like your lunch duo platter, you have a choice of fried shrimp, fried catfish, stuffed crab, or stuffed shrimp. 2 of those as a little small got a little mini seafood platter for lunch as well. Po' boys, sandwiches, gumbos, soups, salads, you name it. We've got it over here for you at Snow Seafood and Steak. We talk about it at the pickiest of eaters. There is something for everybody's palate, whatever range you are here at Snow Seafood. Second generation, over 50 years, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Live at Snow's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Handycast dropping tonight. We're going to do our final football podcast of the year roster breakdown. We got all the film in the last 3 podcasts from the transfer portal. It's all brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Congratulations on the 90-year anniversary at Supreme Rice. Did Georgia put a nice ribbon and bow on top of that present last night at the end of the overtime?
Is very, very, very appreciative. Although, Charlie, I think my theory that the transfer portal and pay for play college athletics era, I think it may have taken a step backwards. Where it's obviously made the student athletes much smarter. Everybody's academically eligible now, But yeah, down 3, take a 2, a layup with 0.6. Yeah. But they covered the 1.5.
That's why I asked you if you got it. You got that one gift wrap.
I mean,
if you don't know what we're talking about, Tennessee and Georgia in overtime last night. Tennessee took a 3-point lead with 15 seconds to go. Georgia, Marcus Millender got the ball with 11 seconds to go and basically ran the clock out. He makes the driving layup, his 0.6 to go. So obviously they've got no chance to win it. And
what's Tennessee thinking right there? They're going to let him shoot the 3. They're not going to foul.
Yeah. He was being guarded, but he could have gotten a 3-point shot off.
But they were not fouling.
No,
we're not going to.
And they let him go to the basket because they're going to give up a 2 there.
Of course,
they got no problem giving up a 2, and he waited. When he gets the ball with 11 seconds, if he goes straight to the goal there and scores with, say, 8 seconds to go, okay, you still got time to foul and get back down the court. Probably not what I would have.
4 seconds I can live with.
Okay,
immediate foul. The yes, yeah.
I think he could have gotten to the goal with 7. Let's say, let's split the difference.
It's got to be minimum 5.
Yeah.
Is what if you're going to do that. Ideally, you can't advance the ball, to half court.
And when he gets the ball with 11 seconds, I'm thinking you really do. What's your best chance if you play both scenarios out 1,000 times? Taking the 2, fouling, getting the ball back, and then going the length of the floor, or taking a 3 right there. What are your better chances to win?
We're not even thinking about that. We're thinking about are they going to foul, or that's the $1 million thing. With Porter Moser, what you going to do? You up 3. The last few seconds again. I mean, you're going to foul and just or are you going to put him at the line and just rebound the missed rebound. Just the whole thing. And they're out of timeouts at that point, but they came out of a stoppage of play. It makes it even worse. So Tennessee goes to the line up 2 with 15 seconds to go. They missed the first one. So everybody's got to reset. No, there's no excuse for the lack of situational awareness. No, it's why we're talking about it. It doesn't happen. It did last night.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if Georgia's good or not.
I think they're kind of hitting a little bit of a wall.
Yeah.
Their style of play, it kind of caught people off guard. They go 11 deep with their rotation, so that made them the highest scoring team. Their tempo was 1 or 2 in the country out of 365 teams. They were 1 in blocks. Now they're number 2 in block shots. So they got Cyril, who's second in a country in dunks. I mean, he's just a real athletic, big, a rim a rim defender and a finisher. Not much of skill wise, but Mike White never showed us that at Ruston or Gainesville with his style of coaching. But he's adapted to his play. But it seems like they're kind of catching up with a little bit. They had a 50-50 game go their way against Missouri. They got beat against Texas, and and Tennessee might be getting better too. This is a nice road swing for them. These are a couple of good wins in Tuscaloosa and Athens. These are tournament teams. No matter what you think of Alabama and Georgia, they're going to the NCAA tournament.
Georgia should hang around here. They've got home games against A&M and Florida. Either one of those are winnable games, but neither one of them are gimmies, obviously. They're on the road at LSU and Oklahoma. That's the next 4. That's 2 road wins that are gettable. I think they're going to be road favorite in both of those spots.
Georgia
at LSU and at Oklahoma. I think they'd be a small favorite at both of those.
Sure.
And then home games
at Oklahoma, they won't be.
You don't think?
No.
Okay. And then at home against A&M and Florida, which should both be high level, I think, really competitive games. Kind of coin flip games like last night.
And I'm saying it's going to be basically a pick 'em. They might be one.
Okay.
They might be one at Oklahoma. But poor Oklahoma's finding ways to lose these close games.
You got a chance to win 3 out of these 4, and so if you do that, you're going to be
But
set
here's
up.
the problem where the SEC is: they're damaging losses if you don't win them because the league. I think the league is better than how they played in non-conference play. I think we saw that last night. I think Mississippi State. They look that bad. I mean, they got big. They got some size. They got a guy who, in Hubbard's a third-year player who can be hot or he can. I've seen him go for 30. He's State of Mississippi's all-time leading scorer. Okay, that may be. I'm sure he shot as many times as anybody in the history of Mississippi high school.
They held him to 15.
But I've seen him go for 30 against Kentucky.
I've seen him go for 30. That means against LSU more than once.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think the league is a little bit better than how they fared non-conference. But now you got, Texas. Texas is a 41 NET, right? Texas A&M. Are they not a pain in the butt to play? Are they not good?
Very much.
They're
very
40. Much. They're 40 NET.
Yeah.
They're way better than that.
Well, and we talked about why. Because that bottom of their quad fours, they're the very bottom, like 310.
But also, it's a first-year coach in their style, and they're getting better and better. That of all Power 5, including the Big East, they have more bench scoring than anybody.
Yeah.
So their style of play, it's a first-year coach, and they are getting better and better at it. They've had their fair share of luck as well. The run against Auburn on the road and some stuff like that. But they're a headache to play. They're playing. I see some teams that are playing. Texas is getting better. That's a first-year coach with Miller.
And Auburn is getting
Miller.
better after a slow start. That's 4 in a row with that win last night against UT.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title for all of you real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galano, Michael Platt, Marina Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Snow's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can get the show on demand, and we're brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff, man, listen, when you're hurt and you got neck pain, you got back pain, you got muscle soreness, you got things that are keeping you from moving around as well as you'd like, or maybe you're not getting a good night's sleep, just want to end that pain, let them help you out. 3 locations, Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla, whether it's just a straight program that you can get in to alleviate that pain, dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, cryotherapy. They'll get you fixed up at Louisiana Health and Injury Centers.
It's never too late. There it is.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Man, I'll tell you what. That's who I need on my alarm. Because it's cold. I just don't want to go to bed in the morning, Charlie. But if I can get that girl to do me get on my alarm, that wakes me up. with Colucci coming in here with that intro. That's
we
what
can
wakes
make
me
that
up.
happen, man. We could put that on your phone.
Huh? Colucci, how about
absolutely.
that intro, huh?
I like it. I love it. You know I do. I never have a complaint about the theatrics that you guys supply on ESPN radio. I love it. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the vibe that you guys put out. But I think it's well earned. I mean, how many winners could I pick?
Well, we need Detroit to finish out the damn job next time in overtime.
But his
goal
sure is heavy.
Record's still pretty solid, I would say.
Yes, no. Well, heck, you got it on your mind. Let's get right to it before we get pressed for time. Who are we looking at? We got a full slate in hockey tonight because we don't have a whole lot of college basketball, much of a menu tonight.
Yeah, college baskets isn't too bad. NBA has been strange. I mean, I'm watching some of these games too, and it seems that they go on the streets and they can't throw it in the ocean. Utah last night, I mean, they just got blown out, late in the game because they couldn't make a shot. So you do have a lot of these teams. You have Giannis sitting out, a lot of weird stuff going on in the NBA, and college is college. We know that. So rematch of last night. New York Rangers. Now we shift to Madison Square Garden and New York Islanders. The Rangers are horrible, guys. And I really can't.
Uh-oh.
Rangers so bad they cut out his phone.
Uh-oh.
It just looks like the coaching
There we go.
There he is.
The coaching staff is just...
Go ahead, Colucci. I'm sorry, you cut out for a second.
Okay.
Rangers and Islanders, a rematch from last night.
Right, I like
of
the
minus
Islanders.
135.
I'm liking the Islanders.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm liking the Islanders. Resort at Summerlin here, we got minus 130. You could probably shop around maybe and still get a 130 out there. But they looked very solid last night. The Rangers are in disarray. The coaching staff is in disarray. So I definitely feel that the Islanders up a strong play again. I don't know how much the Madison Square Garden crowd could supply, but I definitely think that the New York Islanders are the play in this matchup. The Vegas Golden Knights, let's get to the home team. They're not playing good again. They're having trouble scoring goals. You saw that against Montreal. Montreal took it to them again, swept them in the season series, and now they're trying to tell you have to lay 120 because you're playing in the Fortress against one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Now, Dallas also has been coming back down to earth. They're not playing as well as they have, when they were on that nice winning streak and what have you. But still, Dallas is definitely serviceable enough to win this matchup. I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights coming back from the East Coast, that's a notorious play against at times, and especially when a team like Vegas is having trouble scoring goals. Now, they lost 4 out of 5. They only put up a 2-spot in the Bell Center. They got shellacked 7-1 against Ottawa. Everybody beats Toronto. I mean, so that's a given. They lost their last game here. They only put up 1 goal against the Flyers. That was back on January 19th. So now 10 days later, you're back here in the Fortress, and you're going to have trouble scoring goals. I could just sense it. And, Dallas has now won 3 out of 4 after they were in that little rut. Second game on the road trip. I'm liking Dallas in this spot. I mean, I just don't understand why the Vegas Golden Knights, other than the home favoritism and the Las Vegas crowd, would definitely make them a favorite. So I'm looking at those 2 games. Also, I'm looking at the Minnesota Wild. Now, this is a big, big favorite, guys. Minnesota, they're another great team. They're 30-14-10, which is a great, great record. And I needed Calgary the other night, and they just couldn't get it done. And now they've lost 4 in a row. So, I just don't understand what's going on there against Anaheim. We had a huge lead, and I needed Calgary in that game, and Anaheim just came storming back. Chris Kreider scored, went into overtime, lose the game to Anaheim. Lost 4 in a row now. So the price is right. Only laying at the Resort at Summerlin and the South Point, minus 185. So I see a lot of 190s. It's starting to peak up there. So get down early on that. Naturally, with the favorites playing against an inferior team, the Wild will take a lot of money, and those are the 3 games we're looking at tonight, boys.
Okay. All right, Islanders, we're looking at minus 130 Stars, around even money. In Minnesota, minus 185. Yeah, you talked about the Golden Knights coming off their week and a half road trip, Boston, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. So they're coming back. So, they'd say you got to take care of the wife, the girlfriend, the family, the dog, everything good. Kind of that the first game back. So maybe a spot there. In 9 o'clock. So, Colucci, Max is a season ticket holder for the basketball team, and LSU's not doing so good, okay? So they brought in some extra entertainment last night. They brought in a dance team, and they won second in some kind of hip-hop competition. But they also brought in a guy, a speed painter. Can we get can we up the entertainment value in the halftime show from a guy that's painting fast? Huh?
It was a lady.
I'm sorry. It was a woman.
No, well, now, here's what you can bring
that,
up entertainment value. What we discussed last week. Why don't you just roll Sean Payton out there? He's got a lot of time on his hands now, boys. There's the legendary Sean Payton. I mean, Jesus, they didn't even put Belichick in the Hall of Fame on the first vote. And you guys are ramming 9 and 10 Sean Payton down my throat like this guy's the second coming of Jesus. So you can always wheel him out. That'd be nice. And
that was a miss. That was a miss by Sean Payton. Game flow says, backup quarterback, not just your typical analytics thing where they put up ESPN analytics says go. No, he missed on that one. I think we can most of us be in agreement on that one.
He agreed.
Well, let's give him credit. No, he was playing without the stud. I mean, Bo Nix is the man.
That's why you can't.
And it was just very difficult. And I'm sure Bo Nix would outplay Drake Bay in that game, but the weather didn't help. And it was a really good game. I just at times, when you have the potency of an offense and you take away your main weapon, it definitely is a tremendous drop-off, and, no discredit. We're just making fun here, but, the Patriots did come out
Max,
on top.
you agreed with him?
No, I was just going to say it's been a bit of a rough aftermath for Denver since. I don't know if you saw the comments yesterday from Bo Nix. He seems to go against his coach on some of the pre-injuries that he's had. He didn't really like the way that Sean Payton in the radio side of things earlier this week sort of referenced that it was time coming for his ankle injury, that he's had a bunch of ankle injuries, and Bo Nix went out publicly and basically said he doesn't really know that all that well. I didn't really have this predisposition to the injury. It was a freak injury.
Here we go.
A little shaky in the aftermath, and of course they fired Joe Lombardi and some other assistants as well.
Well,
yeah.
So,
and definitely that's just covering his own tracks there, because a statement like that is just making an excuse for Sean Payton, not for Bo Nix. I mean, okay. Well, it was time for the horse to break down, so he finally broke down, and we got all the money we could out of him. Now we'll put him out to pasture. That's a similar statement to where, a trainer of a racehorse just runs the horse into the ground. Oh, well, he had ankle issues before we knew he was going to break down. These coaches sometimes, they need to rein it in. The season's over. Go out to the Bahamas, relax a little. Don't always open your mouth, and it's a tough learn for these
I think Max's point was that this is the guy that took a chance on him and believed in him much more than most people, and took him at a spot, and look has done a pretty good job with Nix, I would think, as far as his level of play to board of our expectation level, Charlie.
And Lombardi is a strange scapegoat because he's been with Peyton 4 different times, 3 different stints with the Saints and 1 with Denver, 12 years total. That's not a guy that came in for 1 year and didn't work out. He's been with Peyton a long time. Peyton's hired him 3 different times. So
there you go. Hey, any action on some early action on Seattle when the line first came out last Sunday night?
Actually, we opened it at 5, so we're getting a little action now as we've reined it back down to 4.5 on the Patriots. But yeah, the initial reaction was Seattle. Most of the base consumers are already looking for their propositions. We got about 4 pages done. Chris will be working on more over at the South Point today. We should have a complete 19-page packet at the resort and at the South Point by Saturday, I would say. But I anticipate a plethora of Seattle money coming in. I just think people will be etched in stone that performance by Drake May the last couple of weeks, and I don't buy into it that much. I think this is a fresh start and a fresh game. You're going to have hopefully some great weather there, and nothing like we've seen at Denver. Drake May should be able to overcome that. It should be a pretty tight game, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll say mostly, the betting public bets what they saw last. And if you watch those games back to back, you got to be a little bit worried that whether or not New England could be competitive with Seattle. So we will see about that. All right, man. Well, we're winding down on football again. The basketball, like we said. I mean, did the Golden Knights ever have speed painting at their intermissions with the Zamboni? Huh?
No, the hockey games, the guy paints upside down.
No,
the guy paints upside down.
You ever seen the guy paint upside down?
No.
Oh, he's great. The guy paints upside down, and then when he's done with it, he flips it over, and it
paints on a trapeze. What's going on? Huh?
You guys must have had comp tickets last night. You guys showed this detail. That's crazy. You know what you got to get? Got to get a coyote there to stick a brush in his mouth and start to paint a little, and then we're getting someplace. Or get that girl who spins the dishes on the stick. There,
yeah, does Red Panda
on a
unicycle?
Oh, Red Panda's been through Baton Rouge quite often, so this is one of her regular stops. So.
I like the guy that paints upside down during the national anthem. He starts with a blank canvas. He paints during the national anthem. When the national anthem is over, he flips it over, and it's the scene from Iwo Jima. The guy's great. You never seen that? You got to YouTube it. It's fantastic.
I have not.
It takes about 2 minutes. It's awesome.
We're going to put Charlie in the marketing department.
In charge of promotions for the LSU basketball squad.
Upside down painting.
Yes, indeed. How about so next year the national championship game is in Las Vegas, huh? Boy, how things have changed.
They can't fit enough into Allegiant Stadium. I mean, it's crazy. It's like just the greatest venue ever created into all these sporting fields. And it's going to be exciting, I'll tell you. It'll definitely boost handle. You'll have a lot of people here. The local places will even fill up, just like the strip places. So it'll definitely be a major factor and major promotions surrounding the national title game.
Now, come on, man. Keep it clean. Family show here. Talking about the strip joints, okay? All right.
Just talking about the casino, sir. I'm sorry.
The Isles, the Stars, the Wild. Isles, the Stars, the Wild. A three-pack from Colucci on a Thursday. Let's keep it hot, man, brother. We appreciate it. Don't worry. Half of Baton Rouge will have a little piqued interest in the hockey slate tonight. At NY Bookie Dwayne is where you can find all the Dwayne stuff. You the man, brother. Thank you, bud.
Love you, Jim. Love you, Charlie. Thanks for everything. Let's cash some tickets.
Right. yes, indeed. Oh, my goodness. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine, you got to call our friends over at Relief Windows. Relief Windows, again, and reliefwindows.com. And it is the wooden windows that we really talk about a lot in with the extreme South Louisiana weather conditions, the heat, the rain, the mold, the algae, the freeze, the snow. That's right. They're built using R-Last wood. These gel wind windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot and termites. Again, they last, they look good, they're functional. What more can you want? Call our friends at Relief Windows. They're open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 288-8138.
Live at Snow's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Underway at Torrey Pines Farmers Insurance Open. We just saw the return of Brooks Koepka, the PGA Tour. Max?
Exciting. Patrick Reed coming back. That was announced yesterday. So the PGA Tour has all the momentum at this point. And just getting this on ESPN, I think Brian Rowlap, their new commissioner, light years ahead of his predecessor in Jay Monahan in terms of he was involved with NFL media. He created that giant, and it's no surprise.
Oh, so this is the event that bumped LSU Mississippi State last night, huh?
Ain't many SEC games that go on the plus. So.
None.
No, I don't think it's none.
None since they started, Charlie. That was the whole thing. Every conference game is going to be on one of their properties.
Okay, we'll check it out. Live at lunch from Snow's in Gonzales, airline at 74, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we'll return here at Snow's. Jimmy, lunch. The lunch menu has changed a little bit from the daily specials to a little bit more
weekly.
A little bit more of a.
So we have more of a selection weekly. So Chef puts together Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So you get a handful of different entree specials like the Tuscan chicken pasta, the heirloom tomato margarita flatbread, grilled pork ribeye with the sweet demi-glace, and the Bang Bang shrimp tacos. Our sandwich this week is the meatball sub and 2 different salads to choose from, the Southwest chicken salad or the blackened shrimp citrus salad. That's in addition to the already extensive lunch menu that we have over here at Snow's. A little bit of something for everyone here at Snow's Steak and Seafood.
Were you fall on the floor shocked when you heard that Darian Mensah had officially committed to Miami and took the number 1 receiver from Duke along with him?
Oh, he did.
Yeah. Barkate, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
I know he was Duke's leading receiver. I think he was number 2.
What was the settlement?
3. Yeah, well, they're not going to disclose that.
2 private schools.
Yeah.
They don't have to disclose them in the first place.
You're not going to get I don't think you're going to get dollar figures, but it's worth asking the question, would you enter into a 2-year deal with anybody now? Regardless of program.
Yeah.
Okay. You would.
Because if I lose my guy, at least I get some money.
So you okay? So on the buyback issue, you would say, hey, listen, if this guy bails on me, then at least I'm going to get some buyout money from wherever he's going.
They were almost out. They were almost in the clear with Mensah. I mean, if Miami gets Levitt, didn't he visit Miami?
He did.
Okay, they're not going to get Mensah.
No, if they had got
Who else
Levitt,
is going to get Mensah?
Well, if Levitt doesn't go there, then maybe LSU goes after him. If Levitt doesn't come here, maybe they go after Mensah. Maybe Tennessee is the other one.
But
maybe
not. I mean, you heard anything of Kiffin making any type of effort to go get Mensah?
No, but.
Well, I mean, he had Sorsby first, and then he went to them. I guess you got to strike out. If you strike out on enough, you'll go get him.
Not much of a runner either.
No, he doesn't run.
No. Tennessee might have made it. How many schools do you think that the 2-year deal? They're just like, well, okay, he signed over there. It's not worth it.
I think it's a deterrent for some because
I think it's a deterrent for a lot.
For most, but Miami's got they're a top 5 portal budget team. You know, it's Texas Tech, it's Miami, LSU has joined the forces. Oregon, and so maybe only a top 5 is willing to pay what Mensah requires, and then also pay his buyout too. Now, obviously, is Ole Miss giving Clemson some buyout money? I mean, that's what they're talking about, but. I'm wondering if anything's going to come of that because Dabo's trying to stick it to Golding.
He is, and Dabo.
And I don't know if he's got any. I don't know if anything will amount.
I don't know what. I don't know what they're going to end up getting, if anything. But I do know that Dabo's the one guy I can think of in the power conferences that can go after another Power 5 coach or Power 4 coach without worrying about it coming back on him. In other words, if you accuse somebody of tampering, most of the time they can come back and get you with something. They got nothing on Dabo because he hasn't done any of
the power programs. He is the least committed to the portal. Yeah, that's obvious to a fault.
So he's the one guy that doesn't have to worry about a retaliation strike in this.
I don't know about the only guy, but he's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah.
Did you see the text we just got that somewhere there is a line on LSU Clemson? Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
Up on FanDuel right now.
I would say LSU is 6, 7.
Keep going.
Over a touchdown.
Well over a touchdown.
11?
Not quite. 10.5 at FanDuel. We're going to start to see some of these look-ahead lines now that the rosters are pretty close to set, if not 100% set.
All right, you say 15 on the poll. We disagree on that. But where do you think the power rating, where we start? We're talking about, handicappers, sportsbook managers, where LSU will be as far as their power rating.
I think that will be closer to the back end of the top 10. I think that will be closer to 8 or so. It's just a guess, 8 or 9.
I would put it closer to 5.
Seton is a big deal. Leavitt was a big deal because you got to get your quarterback, set in there. And then the biggest liability LSU had a year ago was their offensive line. You threw quality and quantity at that. You threw an elite left tackle in there. You threw a starter from Baylor. You threw a 2-year starter from Maryland. You threw multiple other SEC transfers that really haven't played that much yet, but they're SEC, quality recruits. And then you threw some depth in there, and you're bringing back 2 starters, one of which I know is going to start next year. The other one we'll see. That goes a long way towards cinching up what was a liability and maybe an asset this year. So you may be right. I would just say 8 or 9, just on a guess. We're going to do a roster breakdown in the podcast tonight. They're at 9. I think it's 97 players on the roster. So you're already talking about 12 players more than what you used to have as the limit, because you can go to 105 now. So it looks thicker, okay? I think it's 16 or 17 scholarship offensive linemen. I've seen LSU go into seasons in the last 10 years with closer to 10, where if you got 1 or 2 guys hurt, you're going to be in a real bind. The wide receiver room is
You're breaking it down way more than the handicappers and the sportsbook managers were.
So they're going to look at quarterback.
No, they're going to look at quarterback depth. They're going to look at what kind of history does Kiffin have in taking that budget. He's got more budget. There's nobody's reporting, but you kind of figure out they're at the top of the list. The people know that Seton wasn't going for nothing. And boom, on top of everybody else you got. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like a cherry on a sundae. I mean, you took it. There's a lot there that if they're not top 5 in player. Now, Oregon gets back an experienced, highly thought of quarterback. Okay, to a team that won a lot of games this year, they're going to be up there. I'm not sure Indiana with the power ratings. I'm not sure they're going to be top 5. Understand the rankings and all that. There's going to be a carryover, and people are going to make up for where they didn't. Kind of who was it? To a lesser degree, South Carolina. Oh, man, we missed. They were better than we thought. Oh, well, let's put them up there. They weren't close to the team they had the year before, and they proved that. But they had them, around preseason top 15, top 10, last year. So, but the Notre Dame's going to be up there. Oregon's going to be up there. Ohio State's going to be up there.
Let's talk about the league. Texas and Georgia for sure. Are they going to be ahead of Texas A&M?
I think so.
The look ahead rankings are a little bit behind them.
I think
close.
LSU and Georgia is going to be a healthy conversation behind those scenes as far as what their power ratings would be. LSU, Georgia to start to. Now listen. These things are more fluid than they used to be for obvious reasons, because there's such a big turnover, and all the transfer portal, what's advertised as a heavy haul does not always, materialize to that. Texas Tech is going to be up there, but man, Texas Tech was pushed around so bad by Oregon. I think they may pump the brakes a little bit on Texas Tech. And the other thing is BYU. You know, I mean, this was BYU. This was your toughest game. So we're going to pump the brakes a little bit on Texas Tech in the Big 12.
Jimmy, at this point, I think the best way to look at what the power ratings will probably be is to look at the national championship odds that are out there.
Yeah, they're what, 7?
LSU's 7th, right behind Georgia, like you're kind of mentioning,
yeah.
and ahead of Miami and Texas Tech, right behind them, and A&M.
A&M
so
is
these are the,
Miami's got to be in the conversation. Has to be.
And now that you got
Minnesota, you get a big upgrade.
Of course, there's more that goes into national championship odds. You have to incorporate schedule and whatnot, but that's the best mirror at this point for what the power ratings will be.
Miami's not going away. Now, it's going to take a lot to duplicate that defensive line, but they had it. They're kind of chasing their tail a little bit. If they had the Cam Ward offense in this year's defense, they're winning. They're winning. Yeah. I'm just not. But they're in the conversation, Charlie. I mean, it's going to be a clump about 7 or 8. I think A&M, losing at home and just kind of fit. I don't think they're going to be quite with that. Texas is going to get some. They're returning a lot. The Manning deal, their budget. They're going to be up there. And you know what? They were probably a top 10 team at the end of the year. So I saw they saw some progress over the course of the season with a lot of guys coming back as well.
The reason I'm holding back is
just something you are a little bit.
I am, and the reason is that when those rankings and power rankings come out at the beginning of August, nobody is going to have seen Sam Leavitt practice. And if I'm an odds maker in Las Vegas,
nobody's going to see. He's not going to practice in August.
No, I'm talking about when they're going to put this out before August practice really starts. The rankings, it comes out right there.
No, we're talking about power ratings.
Yeah, you're talking about before the season starts. Okay,
yeah, but they don't start till they don't. Yeah, but
are you talking about the beginning of September before the games start after August practice?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you'll know about Leavitt, and I think if Leavitt goes out there and he looks fine, nobody's got any concerns about the injury. He's practiced without restrictions. Then yeah, I'll be further to let it go.
We wanted to discount the report, but I mean that was. You say what you want. We should have been warned about Nussmeier's health. Oh, we didn't know this was a Clemson fabricated.
You listen to him at the Senior Bowl this week, and he heard it worse in the Clemson game than it was going into the Clemson game. That's what he's saying.
That we had heard.
Yeah,
as well.
And I mean, we knew he was hurt after that.
Unrelated.
We didn't know how bad.
Let me ask you this: if he's as healthy for the whole season as he is now? What was LSU's record?
Well, they almost won. They lost to Ole Miss by 5, and
kind of shouldn't have been that close.
Maybe not.
Let's be fair.
But when we
they didn't have the ball.
He missed 2 touchdown throws, big as you please. We went and watched the film. 2 touchdown throws because he couldn't get enough mustard on the ball.
Didn't miss any plays.
Well, you're asking me if Nussmeier plays at full health. I'm telling you, I watched him miss a couple of plays because he couldn't get the ball there.
Okay,
throws I know he's capable of making healthy.
A guy because he didn't going into the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah, fumble the ball for a touchback.
Right,
too.
and
what was the total yardage?
If he scores
total yardage,
I don't remember.
Let me jog you. It was not close. It was over 100 yards.
If they score on those 2 plays, the game is different. Do they win? I don't know.
That's not what I asked you.
They still don't
I
have
asked you, what was the record?
Their record was 7-5.
Okay, well, Charlie, I'll slow it down for you. If Nussmeier is healthy the whole year, what do you think their record would have been?
They would have beat Oklahoma. They might have beat Ole Miss. They wouldn't have beat A&M. Let's say 2 games better. Okay. Maybe 9-3.
Kelly's still here.
Yeah. Yeah. If they beat Ole Miss,
is he here in Naples?
Well, yeah. Say it a different way. Say he still got the job. Still got the job.
Ole Miss outgained LSU.
He's not eating Boudin and Scott on Tuesday. I can tell you that.
Ole Miss outgained LSU 226 yards.
226, Charlie. 2 throws or 226? Come on. Charlie.
The 2 throws were worth.
Ole Miss was better.
They were better. I'm not arguing that.
226.
You asked me what they would have done different with Nussmeier healthy in the game, and I told you. There were 2 touchdown passes that he missed because he couldn't get the ball there.
You saying they would have beat Ole Miss?
I'm not.
Okay.
Well, when I tried to qualify it, I was pinned down for an answer. You slowed it down for me. How many more? So I said 2 more games. I picked a number, a nice even number. 2 more games. Oklahoma for sure. Hell, they should. Maybe
Let's get back to Bubble Watch.
Bubble Watch.
We're any team. We're out the 40s now. You sure?
60.
60.
Yeah, 60.
So Bubble Watch is
you lose a home game to Mississippi State.
So Lenardi's got us off the next 4 out.
Oh yeah, they've
been off.
They were off that.
Oh, they are
Saturday. Yeah.
They worked their way out of the bubble.
This has been one of Lenardi's worst jobs. I mean, if you thought that was a damn bubble team, well, I mean, come on, man. The next 4 out a couple of weeks
he's
ago.
He's going off the current bracket as is. He's not projecting outwards.
You lost a home game
really?
to a net 94 last night. You lost at home by double digits. Yeah, that's going to ding you just a little bit.
How many did they lose to South Carolina?
They lost by 10.
Double digits, them too?
That was late window dressing. Too.
So you say don't buy the half a point when you play in LSU basketball, huh?
You want to set an over-under on how many more games they're going to win? They got 10 left in the regular season.
Our guys aren't taking twos at the buzzer, down 3.
No, they haven't been down 3 at the buzzer very often. I'd set the over-under at 1.5.
Oh,
probably.
Over.
Here's a pretty day at Torrey Pines today.
They can play better than they did last night.
Do you know that Massetti
sure.
has retired 9 times in his career?
I don't even know.
Plus 350 or 360 or whatever.
I don't even know who Massetti is. The Italian cook?
Italian tennis player.
Okay. Oh, well, they got to go.
It's one of my proud moments. I was in Nice in Monte Carlo for the tennis tournament, and I saw Nigel. Nigel
Seeley.
Yeah, Nigel Seeley is the Bet Rivers content manager for
big soccer guy, right?
Soccer, huge soccer. Like he went to the World Cup like multiple times, various trips, in Dubai and stuff. He's everywhere. So I think he's playing on 3 different times. He's going to come down for the States for the World Cup. And he said, well, yeah, he's doing an interview with me. There's this little place in Nice, a little outdoor cafe on the water. And he says, well, tell us about the tournaments. I was like, man, I was really blown away with Massetti. Man, the crowd was real. I was like, dog, man, they love Massetti here. He said, Jimmy, Italy's about 20 minutes that way.
Right. The hometown favorite.
Come on, man.
And he quit on you. He quit on you the other day, huh? He had Joker dead to rights, and he.
Let me tell you something.
He quit?
Yes, he quit for the 9th time.
He quit.
So he quit in that final, is why I bring it up, Alcaraz. But he was hurt. But then he had to be hurt because usually retirement is kind of technicality for quit when you're losing.
Retiring
He's
from
up
the
2
match.
sets to 0
Yeah.
and retired.
Something must have hurt. It had to cost him money.
Yeah, my account.
Well, not your account. Had to cost him some money. I'm sure he's not worried about what he cost you.
9 times.
That's a lot.
Might be time to
9
If you
times.
retire from a match 10 times, is it forced retirement for a career?
He misses one more day. Ferris isn't going to graduate.
Huh? Donka Shin.
That was a good one, Charlie.
Yeah.
You know why it's a great movie?
Why?
It's freaking the worst upgrade in the history of stadiums. Those freaking lights. Can they tear those lights down?
Oh, because they went to the baseball game in the afternoon?
Of course they did.
They also,
during the week.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
And the parade thing, that was during the actual parade. They filmed in Chicago during the parade.
I'm pride myself. I've never been to a night game in Wrigley Field. I refuse to go.
Me neither.
How honorable.
Of course, I've only been to 2. I've only been to 2 during the day. He's taking a stand.
Kiss my ass.
He's taking.
How's your season ticket holder? The package
going
with
like all but
LSU
2
basketball.
games. I don't know if I'll be at another one the rest of the year.
We're brought to you by the
Stickman's
Thibodeau
coming.
store.
He's spinning basketballs on 20 feet sticks.
Pierre Port store, open in La Rose and La Place as well. Your outdoor cooking catalyst, whether you're taking equipment out to the baseball stadium for remote cooking, or you're doing it in your backyard, in your back patio, crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, big green egg cookers, grills and griddles, you get them at the Thibodeau store, the Pierre Part store. Again, open in La Place and La Rose. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierre Park. You're doing some home improvement, doing some cleanup. Lots of your storage containers and your cleaning supplies are on special on the website right now at thethibodauxstore.com. That'll get you to all 4 properties. Same-day pickup is available on just about every item on the website. Delivery available on lots of them. Let the experts help you out with some of those home improvement projects, save you some time, save you some money. Outdoor power equipment, power tools, hand tools, and a whole lot more at the Thibodaux store.
Ready for another field trip when it warms up.
Yeah, might take a couple of weeks to warm up, but we'll make it down there.
Come on, man.
Hey, look, I don't do the weather. I just do
Groundhog's Day.
Max is
that Monday?
February 2nd.
The 2nd is Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, that's right, Monday.
I'm on top of my Groundhog's Day.
He knows calendars.
My daughter's birthday. I remember. I know what day Groundhog Day.
He knows calendars, not geography.
Yes, absolutely. TheThibodauxStore.com online. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Snow's. Mickey Loomis at the Senior Bowl. Loomis doesn't talk to the media very much, but he did talk a little bit this week in Mobile. The 2 things that interested me the most, because I don't expect him to talk about strategy. I certainly don't expect him to talk about players over there with any kind of detail, and he shouldn't. It was conversations about Taysom Hill and Demario Davis, and the short version of what Mickey said was that he's willing to take his time with this, give Taysom Hill some space, and they want Demario Davis back and hope he's back, but they'll get through that. He is a free agent. Jimmy, I think the deal with Taysom Hill is pretty cut and dried. I expect him to retire. If he doesn't, I would expect that he would be maybe somewhere else. I mean, maybe in Denver or something like that. But I expect him to retire. Demario Davis is a little bit tougher of a call because I don't know what kind of offers he's going to get. He was in the top 10 in tackles last year in the league at age 37. And he's still playing at a really, really high level. You know it's going to drop off. All the time's undefeated. It's just how much longer can you keep this up? There's some dead money involved there, but they could re-sign him. So do you think the Saints will re-sign Demario Davis? And do you think that he's going to go off and say, hey, listen, you guys might make the playoffs next year. You got a chance in that division. But I'm going to go sign with somebody that is a contender, Buffalo,
Ricky
or
Jackson, at the tail end of his career, goes and plays with the 49ers, gets a ring.
Right. You go ring chase. So he signs with Buffalo or Detroit, or I'm just talking about potential contenders next year. What do you think happens there?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean,
what would you do? Would you make a strong effort to re-sign him?
Well, there's one thing about it, Charlie. Both are high character, great locker room guys. Mm-hmm. But it just seems like Davis is the guy that's really vocal in that locker room. And
he is.
Really, and I think that's one thing that Kellen Moore has identified with on his roster and said, like, no, this is not a bad guy to kind of, no, I got to let him be vocal. You can preach and preach and preach as a coach, and look, they're professionals, and they should be motivated to be coachable at any stretch. You still it's a little bit of a battle. When you get it from one of your teammates, it's that much. I mean, he is a valuable piece in that locker room for Kellen Moore, and I think that is, and I think Moore. I mean, when you're top 10 in tackles, and production is not everything, but he's much closer to his prime, I think, than Hill. Hill, along with the injuries and that style of the style of player that he is, that's a tough combination. Davis is still in that linebacker position where, man, if you've got good instincts, you anticipate, you can gain yourself a half a step. You make yourself that much quicker. And he's doing it. He's around the ball so much. So I think that Kellen Moore would like to keep him around. I know he would. I mean, that was a tough locker room. When we're talking about the last 5 weeks of the season, we're like, man, I don't know, but this team's trying. There was no doubt that this team was out of playoff contention, and they were all in as far as their effort to win.
I think they'd like to have him back, and I think that they will obviously make him an offer, but I don't think he's going to come back, and here's why. I do think that there's going to be an opportunity for him with a contender higher than the Saints, and I think at his age, you got to consider that. But the other reason is I think the Saints started to prepare a little bit later in the season for this possibility by how many snaps they gave Danny Stutzman. Stutzman had a really good preseason, and then when his regular season started, it was mostly special teams. But toward the end of the season, he started to play more defensive snaps, and I think the Saints were kind of bracing themselves for the idea that Davis is going to get an offer that he considers better. It might not be a lot more money, but just better from a contender, and they have to be prepared to replace him. And I think they're high on Stutzman. So, look, I would love for Demario Davis to finish with the Saints and come back for another year, but I think there's probably going to be the odds are that there's going to be a better offer for him out there with a more contending team, and the Saints, I think, knew that and started preparing for that at the end of last season. I would be great if he came back. I think if I had to pick right now, I'd say he's going to be somewhere else.
We'll see.
He did an interview with Kay Adams and seemed pretty
open
to moving. I will say PFF, for whatever it's worth, we criticized their grading at times. Of 88 qualified linebackers, he was graded 6th.
Yeah.
In the entire
he's 37 playing like he's 27. I mean, the guy's fantastic and just as good off the field.
All right. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. Been serving the people of southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest branch at Burbank and Blue Bonnet. Great team of bankers over at United Community Bank. Stop on by and see how we can help your business today. Of course, my buddy Prentice Wilkes, Amir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, and David Henry. United Community Bank, member FDIC.
Live, it snows in Gonzales, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, let's bring in Matt Humans as we do each and every week at this time from Veasan in Las Vegas. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Well, pretty good watching golf at Torrey Pines on TV right now. It's good that ESPN's got some early golf coverage on today.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Max, pull up on this too as well. But you think it's the new commissioner, huh?
Yeah, Brian Rolep's background is NFL media, and he certainly got involved in this. He's like I said earlier, miles ahead of Jay Monahan already in terms of just maneuvering this and making this happen, promoting the tour, promoting Brooks Koepka coming back.
So what's your take on that, Matt? Is this a sign of things to come? You getting a little bit more, off that paywall, with these early rounds?
I don't know about that. I've read some discouraging stuff, actually, recently that the PGA Tour is going to do away with the Hawaii events to start the year, and that Torrey Pines might be moving off this weekend between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. And the tour actually is talking about reducing the schedule and making a lot of changes. It looks like there'll be less golf on TV instead of more. So I want to see how that develops. I'm not going to hype up some of these changes. Read a couple of blogs about that recently, and it looks like not great news. And to tell you the truth, I don't care that much if Brooks Koepka's back, and I certainly don't want Fat Pat Reed back on the tour, but that's going to happen next year.
Yeah, they are. I noticed that on the golf coverage. It was either last week or maybe even the week before. I mean, they were really including Koepka in some of the promos for the upcoming events.
It's a big deal for them. It's basically a middle finger to Liv. Like, look, we're stealing your players.
I know,
back.
but how
This
much
is
of a middle finger is it to you guys that stayed with you?
It is, and there's been some pushback. Hideki Matsuyama said he was kind of had mixed opinions on how they welcomed him back in. But
well, so you got any action on this tournament, Matt?
Yeah, I got a lot of action on this. I'm actually going to go down there this weekend. I'll tell you who I got. Maverick McNeely, who right now is 2 under. He's off to a good start, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. We got a lot of golf left to play. But
yeah,
I got Maverick McNeely. I played a lot of top 10s and top 20s. And Maverick was at, I get him at 36-1. I played Patrick Cantley, who's one of my least favorite players. He hasn't won since August of 2022, but he's playing well, and he tied for 5th at Torrey Pines last year when they played the Genesis here. Got him at 24-1, also played him top 20. Patrick Rogers, a long shot, 65-1, top 20. Jason Day, a 2-time winner at Torrey Pines, played him at 32-1 and also top 10. So I know Wes Reynolds got a couple of those players too. Wes did a very thorough golf betting column as usual on Torrey Pines. We had him on the show this week. I know you have him on the show. Torrey Pines is one of the best. This West Coast swing is one of my favorite things to bet.
You think Max Homa is he a guy you've been considering after kind of where he usually makes his scores in California, but had some equipment changes and kind of a rough season last year. But your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of play wait and see with Max because he, like you say, he was a little bit off last year, but he typically plays well in these courses. I did not bet him this week. I had been watching this morning, and I think he's 1 under through 4 or something like that. But hey, you can't bet everybody. I know that some golf handicappers have put out 10 plays or 10 players on a tournament. I'm trying to limit it to 3 or 4, and then who knows? Maybe you want to add something on Friday night. But no, I did not play Max.
Yeah, Scheffler looked really rusty last week, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that's tough. See, last week I didn't even bet golf because you got the tournament out in the desert in California. They play on 3 different courses, very difficult to handicap, and I never fare well in that, so I had other things to focus on, like college hoops in the NFL, and didn't even bet golf. And it turns out Scheffler wins at about plus 350, 4-1, and that's a dream for the bookmakers for the favorite because you're going to scoop the pot on every other player on the board last week. But what's Scheffler going to go off at the Masters? Probably plus 250, 3-1, right?
I looked at it yesterday because I figured he's 3-1. Yeah, at DraftKings. Yep. So plus 300. So I mean, with a couple more wins, he might be a little bit shorter than that. Tiger was the shortest. What was the shortest he was at the Masters? It was a little over even money, Matt.
Were you asking Max or Matt?
Yeah, Matt. You. Do you remember? Do you recall? Max is too young for that, Matt. But I know he was at like even money for some tournaments. Was he ever that short for the Masters?
Yeah, I don't know if he went off even money. I'd have to look that up at Augusta. 2-1, I'm sure of, and maybe 3-2. I don't know if he ever went off at even money, but man, right around the early 2000s. There was
would have had to been the year. Yeah, would have had to been the year that he won all 4 of them, not in the same calendar year. But
he was plus 150 or lower 4 times. He was actually minus 125 in 2007. Apparently.
Minus 125 against the field, the Masters. Oh.
That's incredible.
He was good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was not bad. But the real question is, I was doing a podcast with Paul Stone this morning, and we also I've walked with Randy McKay, with the in late August from the Mandalay Bay to the stadium to go see USC and LSU. But are you going to change the timing of your tournament? In the middle of the desert there on the California state line to try and help Randy McKay get through that event.
Yeah, you didn't hear the news. Actually, last summer, some billionaire bought that course and closed it, so we had to cancel our tournament last summer. So no.
Oh, oh man, big dog. These little water stations on the way to the and look, he handles the cold way better than us. But my man was
Randy McKay can't handle the heat at all. I mean, he looks like a big tough guy. Hey, here's the thing about Randy McKay. He looks like a big tough guy, mountain man, rambling out of North Dakota, but he drinks Coors Light, and when it gets over 90 degrees, he can't handle the heat. So, not that tough.
We were. I'll bring you in on this conversation. LSU actually at FanDuel opened up a 10.5-point favorite over Clemson. LSU it's going to be between $45 and $50 million they payroll this coming year. We're wondering about the conversations. In the sportsbook managers, not the rankings where you have maybe some people with personal preferences or whatever, but handicappers in their power ratings or sportsbook managers and odds makers in their conversations, don't you think it has to be a kind of a clump of about 7 or 8 teams? Whether it's Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, is LSU involved in there? Or Georgia? I mean, Indiana is going to be, get a lot. What's your thoughts on the Mensa into Miami? That's an upgraded quarterback there. Your thoughts on who, or are we missing some that could be clearly ahead of some of the others?
I haven't thought a whole lot about college football for next season. You get kind of burned out when this season's over, but I would maybe expand it beyond that, just because. This year, what was Indiana in the preseason? Somewhere around 15.
19.
Yeah, I had Indiana power rated, I think, 14th or 15th in the preseason. There are always surprises. The Texas and Penn State were two. Texas, Penn State, and Clemson were 3 teams that a lot of people consider locks for the college football playoff. How many of those teams actually made the playoff? 0. Right? When you look at the AP preseason poll, I think Texas was 1, Ohio State 2, Penn State was 3, Clemson 4, something like that. And 3 of those 4 teams didn't make the playoffs. So also in the NIL era, I guess unrestricted free agency, no salary cap, we'll call it, that can blow up in the face of some coaches, too. Look at Kentucky basketball right now, right? You got a $22 million payroll, and you got a team that just lost by 30 at Vandy. And just because you're paying the players and you have a huge payroll does not guarantee success. So I don't want to jump to those type of conclusions. I still think the best coached teams are going to be the teams that survive that, but not always. This stuff can blow up in the faces of the best coaches, too. So I think it's a tricky era in college sports, and I don't want to narrow it down to say, hey, only so many teams can compete, because who knows? I think there's a lot of mystery out there.
Yeah, Texas was 1 and Penn State was 2 last year preseason, right?
Yeah, okay.
And no doubt about that. Hey, anything in the college basketball slate? Hawaii going to UC Irvine. Paul Stone likes the Anteaters there. Anything on the schedule that you're looking at tonight?
Yeah, I like the Anteaters tonight too. I actually played them -120 tonight. That's a game where these teams met in Hawaii 2 weeks ago, and Hawaii won that on a last-second shot, basically kind of a 16-foot turnaround jumper at the buzzer, and to beat UC Irvine by a point. So it's probably going to be a payback game tonight. I'm going to look at Michigan State against Michigan on Friday night. How about this for a trend? So talking about preseason polls, Purdue and Michigan were top 5 teams in the college hoops preseason poll. Right now, Purdue and Michigan are combined 0-14 against the spread in the past 14 games, 0-7 apiece. And Michigan State coming off a big scare at Rutgers in a game that Izzo should have lost. As a short home dog on Friday night, Michigan State's going to be 1.5 or 2-point dog. I'm going to play the Spartans. Something's not quite right with this Michigan team. Wolverine's not shooting well. They're just not playing like they did from late November through December when they looked like the 96 Chicago Bulls. And even Wes Reynolds had Michigan power rated 4.5 points better than any other team in college hoops as of about 3 weeks ago. Last night I heard Charles Barkley talking about March Madness. He said he's going to call it the Arizona Invitational because that's what he thinks it is. So it's funny how quickly things can change, right? 3-4 weeks ago, Michigan was by far the best team in college hoops. Now it's Arizona. And something is quite off with this Michigan team, though. Dusty May can get it back together for March, but right now something's not quite right. Nebraska was without 2 of its top 3 scorers.
Right.
And probably should have won the game in Ann Arbor a couple of nights ago. So I'm going to look at Michigan State on Friday night. Saturday, I'm going to look at Utah State over San Diego State. That's going to be a CBS national game, I believe.
Okay.
BYU Kansas is an intriguing game. You never know if Darren Peterson's going to be on the floor for the Jayhawks, so don't know yet. I'll look at UCLA as a favorite against Indiana. Bruins should take care of that game. Indiana off a big emotional win against Purdue. probably in a flat spot going to the West Coast. What else? We got Kentucky, Arkansas, Colorado State, Wyoming. I got on my list. St. Mary's, Gonzaga. Sunday's a really good game. How about this? Illinois at Nebraska. At some point here, Nebraska's got to take a loss, right?
Well, they lost this week, but they sure covered the double-digit spreads.
I know they covered.
Yeah.
I had Nebraska plus 2. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I gained a lot of respect for them in their one loss. I mean, they were just, you know, I mean, Hoiberg, man, they just really well coached. And it's funny because I look at their stats and their three-point shooting. It's like they sure look like they don't – when I watch them, they don't miss too many open looks from three. When they get open looks, man, they seem to go down. So I gained a lot of respect how close they were to pulling off that upset at Michigan. There's no doubt. You think that how many teams did you say off the top of your head can win it all?
I would still say 15. I know some people are going to tell you fewer. They would say 8, or 10 or something like that. I still think it's more. I think it's more teams than that.
Nebraska in there?
You know what? What's that?
Nebraska in there, one of them?
I think Nebraska's got to be in there. You were talking about the three-point shooting. Huskers were hot from 3 in the first half of Michigan. Then I think it went something like 1 for 14 in the second half and still had a shot to win that game with a minute to go and without 2 of their top 3 scorers. So, like you, I said, man, I'm a lot more of a believer after watching Nebraska in the past few games, much more impressed. This is an all-round team that is going to be tough to knock out. Now, I don't want to predict Nebraska's going to be a Final Four team because you guys know what Nebraska basketball is famous for. Never winning an NCAA tournament game, ever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough to pick a team like that to go to the Final Four, but we just watch Indiana football do it, so who knows? Anything's possible.
Yeah, we said the Indiana. Then Cignetti said, put that bucket on the side. We got a bigger trophy now. Tell Wes Reynolds you got 33 more wins to catch up in the old Oak and Bucket rivalry. So, hey, Indiana 1 year, Purdue the next. Right, Matt?
I don't think that's going to
happen. Matt, we appreciate it, man. Good luck. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay. All right, you bet. Thanks.
Yes.
All right, we'll come back and wrap it up here at Snow Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway at 74 in Gonzales. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up here at Snow Seafood and Steak, their lunch special entree is a Tuscan chicken pasta, the heirloom tomato flatbread, grilled pork ribeyes with the sweet demi-glaze, and bang-bang shrimp tacos, meatball sub for your sandwiches, and the Southwest chicken salad, which is a full salad, by the way. That is a big salad. Blackened shrimp citrus salad as well. Watching a little bit here at Torrey Pines, the Farmers Insurance Open, and Mac Grazeman, 4 under through 7 is your early.
It's pretty good because a lot of guys are struggling.
North course, though. He's on the easy course. There's
He's
2 different courses
today.
in the first 2 rounds, yes.
Well, he's got the lead as we speak. Thanks to our friends here at Snow's for being our host tomorrow. We will be at Rufino's, as we are every Friday, getting you ready for a big college basketball weekend. Bruce Marshall will be with us, Troy Macker, and Chris Macero. Macero's spending the whole time in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Is he making the trek up to San Francisco, Santa Clara? We'll ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, it's in play. I would say it's a 50-50 call.
Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350-plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.